The hand that didn't let go handshake. It was a cold, uncertain evening when Ion found himself standing at the edge of the crowded train platform, the noise of rushing trains and hurried footsteps blurring into a single overwhelming hum. He had lost his job that morning, his phone battery was dead, and the weight of the world pressed heavily on his chest. For the first time in years, he felt truly alone. As the train approached, a sudden shove from the crowd made Ion stumble. His foot slipped near the platform's edge, panic flashing through his mind. In that instant, when fear threatened to pull him under, a hand reached out and gripped his wrist firmly. "Easy," a calm voice said. It belonged to an elderly woman with kind eyes and a scarf wrapped loosely around her head. Her grip was steady, stronger than it looked, refusing to let go until Ion found his balance. Even as the train thundered past, she held on, as if she understood that he needed more than just physical support. When the danger passed, Ion tried to thank her, but the words caught in his throat. The woman smiled softly. "Sometimes," she said, "all a person needs is to know someone is there." They sat together on a nearby bench. She listened as Ion, surprised by his own honesty, spoke about his fears and failures. She didn't interrupt or offer advice, she simply stayed, her hand resting lightly over his, grounding him in the moment. Before leaving, she pressed a small note into his palm. It wasn't money or a phone number, just a few handwritten words: "Don't let go of hope. It hasn't let go of you." Ion watched her disappear into the crowd, her presence lingering long after she was gone. That night, though his problems remained, something inside him felt different, lighter, steadier. He realized that one small act of kindness, one hand that refused to let go, had kept him from falling in more ways than one. And years later, whenever Ion saw someone struggling, he remembered that evening. He reached out his hand, holding on just a little longer, passing forward the kindness that once saved him. The days after the train platform incident passed slowly for Ion, each hour stretching like a question without an answer. He woke every morning with the woman's words echoing in his mind: "Don't let go of hope. It hasn't let go of you." The note stayed folded in his wallet, its edges worn from being touched too often, as if holding it could somehow steady his racing thoughts. Finding work wasn't easy. Rejections arrived quietly, an email here, a polite call there, each one tightening the knot in his chest. Yet, something had shifted. Whenever despair crept too close, he remembered the firmness of that stranger's grip, how it had felt like an anchor in a storm. It reminded him that falling didn't mean failing, and that being held, even briefly, could change the direction of a life. One rainy afternoon, as Ion waited at a bus stop, he noticed a young boy standing alone, tears mixing with the rain on his cheeks. The child clutched a school bag too big for his small frame, looking around helplessly. Ion hesitated, he was still figuring out his own life, but then he remembered the hand that had saved him. He stepped closer. "Are you lost?" he asked gently. The boy nodded, voice trembling as he explained he had missed his bus and didn't know how to get home. Ion crouched beside him, offering reassurance instead of answers he didn't yet have. He held the boy's hand while they waited, feeling the same fragile trust he once needed himself. When the boy's mother finally arrived, breathless and relieved, she thanked Ion again and again. He simply smiled, realizing something important: kindness didn't require having everything figured out. That evening, Ion walked home through streets glowing under soft yellow lights. For the first time in weeks, he felt useful, not because he had solved his problems, but because he had shown up for someone else. The warmth in his chest surprised him. It felt familiar, like the echo of an old kindness returning in a new form. At home, he took out the folded note once more. This time, he added his own words on the back: "Today, I didn't let go either." And in that quiet moment, Ion understood: sometimes, Healing begins not when someone holds on to you, but when you learn to hold on for someone else. Weeks turned into months, and slowly, almost unnoticed, Ion's life began to reshape itself. It didn't happen through grand miracles or sudden success, but through small, steady moments, moments that reminded him he was still connected to the world around him. He finally found a modest job at a neighborhood bookstore, a quiet place filled with the comforting scent of paper and ink. The pay was simple, the hours long, but there was something healing about the routine. Every day, he watched people wander in carrying invisible burdens, just as he once had. And without realizing it at first, Ion began offering more than books. He offered patience, gentle smiles, and time. One evening, a regular customer named Samir stopped coming. Samir was an older man who usually spent hours reading in the corner, rarely speaking, always alone. When he finally returned after many days, his hands trembled as he reached for a book. Ion noticed. "Take your time," Ion said softly, stepping closer. Samir's eyes filled with tears he had clearly been holding back. His wife had passed away the week before. The house felt unbearable now, too quiet, too empty. Ion listened, remembering how powerful it had been when someone simply stayed. He placed his hand gently over Samir's, not to fix the pain, not to erase the loss, but to let him know he didn't have to carry it alone. Samir squeezed back, and in that simple exchange, something unspoken passed between them. Grief shared, even briefly, felt lighter. That night, as Ion closed the bookstore, he reflected on how often life placed people at the edge of platforms, of patience, of hope. He realized the elderly woman from the station had likely been someone like this too, a quiet guardian of moments, stepping in when the world felt too loud. One afternoon, fate surprised him again. While helping customers, Ion noticed a familiar scarf near the entrance. His heart skipped. The elderly woman stood there, scanning the shelves slowly, her kind eyes unchanged. "Excuse me," he said, voice shaking. "You once held my hand at a train station." She turned, recognition blooming into a warm smile. "I wondered if you'd be all right," she said. "I am," Ion replied. "Because you didn't let go." They talked briefly, nothing dramatic, just gentle words and shared smiles. Before leaving, she looked at him with quiet pride. "You're holding on for others now," she said. "I can see it." After she left, Ion stood still for a long moment, understanding at last, kindness doesn't end when the hand lets go. It continues, passed from one life to another, shaping hearts in ways we may never fully see. And so Ion kept living that truth, reaching out, holding on, and becoming, for others, the hand that didn't let go.